Hello, Princess on a Pillow here. I am here to do a review slash recap with my opinion on 90 Day Fiance Before the 90 Days, Season 6, Episode 8. It's titled Misunderstood. I don't know why it's called Misunderstood, but let's get started with Dempsey and Styler. We see Dempsey and Styler in a car on their way to Styler's hotel room. Styler's amazed at how beautiful and attractive Dempsey is, but they seem awkward with each other. They get to the hotel room and Dempsey gives Styler a gift of dead insects that she got from Thailand. Styler is she's a bug person, so she was ecstatic about that. But then she gives Styler the exact same thing, but it's a metal bug. I thought that was very selfish. Should have gotten Dempsey something that she would like. Anyway, Styler keeps talking about sex. Dempsey wants to go take a shower, and she wants to go take a shower with Dempsey. And Dempsey's like, no. And then she keeps talking about Dempsey's butt. So next, they sit on the bed together, and Styler wants a kiss. And Dempsey's like, no. So then they go to bed, and they wake up the next morning, and they said they kissed. But Styler said when she tried to kiss Dempsey, Dempsey was laughing, and all she could feel was teeth. But they did end up having sex. And Styler keeps talking about sex. She wants to touch Dempsey down there to see if she was waxed. She just had sex with her. Don't you know if she was waxed or not? But Dempsey told her no. And then she told her that's enough about talking about sex because that's all she does. And then Dempsey tells us that Styler is into whips and chains. I think Dempsey needs to run. Run, Dempsey, run. She's like Marvin on Ready to Love. I don't know why you have to degrade somebody and hurt somebody physically in order for you to get turned on. So then they have breakfast in bed. And Dempsey pretty much tells Styler that she lives off the grid. And I wouldn't want to do that. I want electricity. I want running water. I want cable. I want internet. I want all that. I can't live off the grid. I'm sorry. And Styler is worried about that because she likes to live in the city around people. Anyway, they pack their stuff, they leave the hotel room, they get in the car, and they're on their way to Dempsey's house. And Dempsey let her know that she has not told her father about her, and that she won't tell her father about her until she gets to know her better. Styler is not happy about that. So we finally get to Dempsey's house. It's tiny, but it looks nice. But the toilet doesn't work. But anyway, they eat chocolate, then they go into the bedroom, and we know what they do in the bedroom. They go in the bedroom and close the door, and we know what they're doing in the bedroom. Next up is Gino and Jasmine. They go to see a counselor because they keep on fighting and they're not having sex. And plus, Jasmine is seeing her ex-boyfriend. I can solve their problems for them. All they need to do is they need to quit arguing. Jasmine needs to quit arguing with Gino so that he can have some sex with her. And then they need to move out of the apartment building because she don't need to be by her ex-boyfriend, especially when Gino is not around. Now this counselor, as soon as they get in there, she tells them that you can't just come for one session. You have to come for more than one session in order to solve your problems. So that means she's going to milk them for all they have. Or milk Gino for all he has. Because he has to pay for every single session. Anyway, Gino tells the counselor that Jasmine says horrible things to him and she is still seeing her ex-boyfriend. Jasmine tells the counselor that her ex is just her friend and Gino is not having sex with her. Jasmine tells the counselor that when she tries to initiate sex with Gino, he turns her away and then he criticizes her private parts. And then she starts to cry. She goes, my father rejected me and now Gino is rejecting me. Jasmine is a great actress. So the counselor basically tells Gino, you need to have sex with Jasmine. Gino puts her straight. Gino tells that counselor, look, she needs to stop calling me names and stop yelling and screaming at me and treating me like shit, and then I have sex with her. He didn't say those words exactly, but that's what he meant. And I agree with him. Who wants to have sex with someone that treats them like shit? And then the counselor, she realized who's paying the bills here. She jumps on Gino's side. She goes, well, Jasmine, you need to compromise. So that Gino said he'll compromise. Gino said he will try to calm her down when she starts to get upset. And Jasmine says she'll stop being friends with Dane. And then the counselor told him to have fun. And that was it. But Gino is skeptical of Jasmine ever changing or living up to what she says she's going to do. Next up is Amanda and Rosvin. Those two are in the Airbnb and they can't figure out how to work to cure it. In his confessional, Rosvin tells us basically that he is not having any fun with Amanda. He wants to make love and go out and drink, and all she wants to do is bitch. I'm saying that. I think Amanda is condescending and mean. Rosvin asked her to have sex, and she said no, she's on her period. He said, you didn't have sex with me for 4 weeks, and now you're on your period for a whole week? Rosvin told her that they can still do it because a real man has a sword with blood. And that was funny. Even Sourpuss Amanda laughed. In a confessional, she said it's scary to be intimate with somebody other than her husband. It's scary? Why are you there then? Why did you go over there to this man, fight this man's country then? Call and telling him you love him, sleeping with him and sucking on his neck and calling him your boyfriend and all that. Why? What did she think? Rosvin was not going to want sex? So he bought her a bathing suit and she doesn't want it. She wants him to take it back. She said her husband was the only person that bought her gifts and she feels weird taking gifts from other men. The only man that bought her a gift was her husband and she feels weird taking gifts from other men. So they go back to the store to exchange the gift. And the sales lady, apparently Rosvin had told the sales lady all about Amanda. So the sales lady asked her if she's going to move her kids, move here. And she said, no, I don't want my kids living here. Then the sales lady asked her if she wanted to have more kids. And she said, no, I already told him I don't want any more kids. So now she's pissed at Rosvin because Rosvin said he wants more kids. And she said, they discussed this in the very beginning that she didn't want any more kids. She's so selfish. If he stays with her, he'll never ever have kids. That's crazy. So the next scene is they're back at the Airbnb, and she leaves out to go make a phone call to her sister. So she tells her sister that Rosvin is loving and better looking in person. And the sister asks, have y'all have sex yet? And she said, no. And the sister said, why? You thinking about your husband? She goes, yes, and I feel guilty. She said, but the guilty feelings are going away. Then she tells her sister that they're having communication problems. And then she starts to bitching about how Rosvin wants to come to the States sooner than she wants him to come to the States, and that Rosvin wants kids. And she's pissed at that. And in her confessional, she says Rosvin has to show her that he can trust her. What has he shown her that he can't trust her? What has he done for her to show her that he can't trust her? Anyway, next up, David and Sheila. They're packing to go visit, to go to Sheila's house to go visit the parents, to meet the parents. And David hired a translator. Sheila is not happy about that because she thinks it's a stranger and she don't want to deal with strangers. They go to meet the translator, and the translator is a nice young woman. Sheila ain't happy about that. She wanted the translator to be a man. So the translator said in her confessional, the translator gave a confessional. She said they've been seeing each other for 2 years and she don't know sign language. The translator said she learned sign language in 1 month. I agree with her. Sheila needs to learn sign language. She needs to learn how to communicate with her man. He has a disability. And now Sheila is jealous because the translator can communicate with David and she can't communicate with David. Well, that's your fault, Sheila. You need to learn sign language, girl. So then David was inappropriate with the translator. He's going to ask the translator if she's married. That's a personal question, David. This is a business transaction. She translates for you and you pay her. You don't need to know if she's married or not. So they're talking and laughing and keying it up. And Sheila is sitting there pissed and mad and jealous. She starts to cry. She's mad. So then she wasn't crying in front of them. She was crying in the confessional. Talking about, I'm jealous. Well, learn sign language so you'll know what they're talking about. And then nobody else will be able to communicate with your man but you. but then she shut it down. She said, look, we gotta go. We gotta go back to the hotel. It's getting late. So they left out. So the next day, we see them get in the car. Sheila, David, and the translator, they get in the car to go to Sheila's house. And David, in the car, David asks Sheila, is there anything he should know? And she said, just know that it is hot and you're going to sweat a lot and you got to pee in a chamber pot. He said he's fine with that. So they get to the house, and David, in confessional, he said that the house is in extreme poverty, with sewage water running everywhere, and it smells like feces and urine, and it's really awful. Sheila introduced the father to the interpreter and to David, and then she shows them around the house. Then she takes them upstairs to meet the mother, and in order for her to talk to her mother, she has to yell in the mother's ear. And then David asked Sheila, how long has she lived in the house? She said all her life. So all her life she's been living in that house. David said Sheila's living situation breaks his heart, and it's worse than he expected. And David said he's worried about sleeping there. I'll be worried about sleeping there too. I'd go live off the grid with Dempsey. You know, I'd rather do that or pitch a tent outside. No offense, Sheila. No disrespect. David said there are bugs and mosquitoes, and there's nowhere to brush his teeth, and there's no running water, and there's barely any wall, so there's no privacy. David said he's never experienced anything like this before. So they go back downstairs to talk to the father, and David asked the father, when did he buy the house? And he said he didn't buy the house, he built the house. Sheila asked the father if there's anything he wants to say to David. He said, I can't talk to him. I don't sign. And Sheila explained to him, that's why we have the interpreter. So then the son comes out, and David gives the son the gift, and it's a miniature pinball machine. I would have given the son something that he can use, like some shoes and socks and underwear and shorts and t-shirts, something he can use. Sheila asked the son if he had any questions for David, and the son said he can't talk. And Sheila said, no, he can't talk, he's deaf and he's mute. But we do have a translator. And then the son said, no, I don't have anything to say to David, or any questions for David. So then she sends the son to the bed. So then they say goodbye to the translator, and then they go to bed on the floor. And Sheila said before the end of the trip, she hoped he proposes to her. In his confessional, David said Sheila should have told him about her living conditions. Well, he should have known about living conditions. She said she had a fire and what happened? A tornado or something, a typhoon that came through. He should have known the house was in disarray. Next is Violet and Riley. So we pick up where we left off. Riley's female friend Tiffany is questioning Violet about why she didn't delete the app. And I said she didn't delete the app because she didn't feel like deleting the app. And Riley's yelling at Violet, answer her, answer her. I would have took that phone and threw it across the daggone room. The hell are you screaming at? Anyway, Violet said she deleted the app because she did delete the app, but then she forgot the password. And then Tiffany basically called her a liar. Tiffany said that's an invalid answer. See, what Violet should have done, she should have told them the truth. Just tell the truth. Give them what they want. Question, why did you tell me you were divorced when you weren't? I would have said, I'm sorry, I filed for divorce, and as far as I'm concerned, I'm divorced. It just didn't get official yet because it didn't come through yet. But hell, I filed, hell, as far as I'm concerned, I'm divorced. Question, who is the naked man on your phone? Answer, the naked man on the phone is the guy I was talking to when you and I broke up. Question, why did you text horrible things to my father about me? Answer, I did it because I was mad, I was pissed, and we were broken up. Question, why didn't you delete the app on your phone? I didn't delete the app on the phone because our relationship is shaky and I need to keep my options open. Question, why did you call me fat and ugly? I called you fat because you have a big tummy, and I called you ugly because your behavior is ugly at times. Most of the times. Don't answer the questions, Violet. Just tell the truth. So Tiffany calls Violet a liar, and Riley calls her a liar in the confessional. And Violet tells him that he messed up the vibe for the evening. But Riley don't give a shit about that. Riley wants to argue. That's all Riley cares about. He just wants to freaking argue. So he's arguing with her, and she says, I'm done talking for the night. So then he tells Tiffany, I'll call you back, and he starts arguing with her, and she calls him an old man. And she's wearing those plastic pearls. That stuff going to turn her skin green. Anyway, Violet throws down her napkin and she says, I go home. And he says, beat it. Who says beat it? Say bye. Well, I say beat it. Anyway, she gets up and she leaves out and he calls Tiffany back and he tells Tiffany that Violet showed her ass. I think you showed your ass, Riley. Riley tells Tiffany that this is his last straw and he's done, and Tiffany is happy. She's one happy camper. She's grinning from ear to ear. All of the day's work for her. Next up, last but not least, I think this is the last couple. Okay. Nicola and Misha. So last time we saw them, Nicola the Catholic was tearing up the dance floor at a nightclub. Now they're out sightseeing again. That's all they do is sightsee. They went to this church that Nicola goes to every week to pray. And Misha found a kitten that she's cuddling. And I understand that. I love kittens. I love cats. They're beautiful. They're amazing. And Nicola is telling her to put the cat down. So then his friend shows up and she greets his friend and he's begging her to put the cat down. He says every cat she sees, she thinks she's the cat's mother. And I understand. I love cats. They are amazing. Okay? So they sit down to talk. And Nicola tells his friend about how Misha have their room looking like Tarzan's jungle. He says, as a matter of fact, the room looks better than Tarzan's jungle. See, he's bashing her in front of his friend. Why would you do that? He said she has his room messy. I believe that's her room. I think she's paying the bills. I don't think you have a job to be able to afford the room. So then the friend's wife shows up and Nicola is saying negative. He's still saying negative things about Misha. He basically tells them that Misha nags him about telling his family about her, which he should. They're supposed to be engaged. So the friend is on Misha's side. The friend said he's trying to keep you a secret, Misha. And then the friend asked Nicola, what can he do to make Misha happy with his family? And Nicola told the friend, just leave it alone. This is my family. And then Nicola tells his friend that he has sacrificed a lot for Misha, but she keeps nagging him about the family. I don't think he knows what the word sacrifice means, and he should, because he reads the Bible. I think he reads the Bible a lot, and that word is all over the Bible, so he should know what that word means. But I don't think he knows what the word sacrifice means. Next, they go back to the hotel, and Misha changes her clothes, and she's embarrassed by how Nicola treated her in front of his friends. If I were her, I would be pissed. So, she tells him that she thinks he doesn't have any experience with having women around. I don't think he has any experience with having people around in general. She tells him that she wants him to care about her and be proud of her. So he says, I care about you, Misha, I'm proud of you. He said it in a condescending way. She starts to cry. Or she starts to tear up, start getting emotional. And he tells her, you're too emotional. He said, you're crying, you're too emotional. And she said, just let me be me. And then she told him, usually when people are upset, you put your arms around them and you comfort them. So he tries to put his arm around her and comfort her. And she goes, no, don't do it because I'm telling you to do it. So then he tells her, I care about you. And she told him, I want to feel like you care about me. Then he said, I care about you. I took you sightseeing. She said, I don't need a effing tour guide. She said the actual word. She cussed at him. And he said, well, what do you want, Misha? Misha wants a hug? That's what he said. And you know what? Nicola does not like Misha. He doesn't like her. And I think she's finally realizing it. He tells her that she is always complaining and attacking him. He says, he is the... What did he say? He compares himself to Jesus and complains that she takes 10 hours to put on makeup and that she's too messy. And she told him, she said that she has never ever said anything about his character. But he keeps talking about her character. And then because she said that, she just cracked his face because he has nothing to say to that. Because it's the truth. He's pathetic. So he says, I'm going to go take a shower. And he goes off to take a shower because she just embarrassed him in front of the camera. That's how Catholic you are. And then he's in the bathroom taking a shower, I guess. And then she's crying because she finally realized that this man does not give a shit about her. And that's the end of my review. Princess on a Pill here. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.